Hello guys, welcome to another video tutorial by Nocode Africa. In this tutorial, I am going to teach you how to build a Nike sneaker store application without writing codes. Alright, this is going to be a series of front-end development tutorials within Flutterflow. And then eventually, if at all I get a lot of requests via the comments section of this particular tutorial, all right, so I will consider building the backend side for this application, but for the meantime we're just going to look at how we can build this particular UI for this application within Flutterflow. Let's jump right into it. Okay, so for us to start building something like this, all we just need to do is head straight to Flutterflow and then create a new Flutterflow project. So I'll click here to create a new Flutterflow project, and then I will call the project Nike app. So I'm gonna call the project Nike, right? Why did I say Nike sneaker app. Okay, so I will just go ahead and click on create blank, and then I'll just wait for it to load up. It's asking me right now if at all I want to set up set up the project in Firebase. So for now I don't want to set up the project in Firebase, so I'll just keep it. And then now we can actually begin building our application. So this is going to be beginner friendly, so let me just undo that. All right, so when you click on skip the Firebase setup process, then you will be brought into this particular screen, and in this screen you just need to take off this app bar, right? So I just select it and then delete it. Okay, so now we go back to the project itself. This is the project. All the credit goes to the product designer who made this available for us for free in the Figma community. If you check the description under this video, you will see a link to access the UiUx design for yourself while trying to replicate it. Okay, all right, so here we have a couple of screens. I do not know the number of screens that we have here, but they are quite a number. All right, so we are just going to focus on translating this into Flutterflow. Then eventually, if at all I have a good number of people requesting for the backend, then we will go ahead and build the backend for the project. But meanwhile, let's enjoy the process. Okay, so this is the screens, and if at all you've been following my previous tutorial, you'll notice that I don't always put these because this already comes with the phone, right? It comes with the gadget that you're using in accessing the application, so there's no need for any of this part. All right, so we will just start with these. So what I'm gonna do now is I'll just click on the whole screen to see the dimension. So here we have 375 by 812, and so we can actually start building it like that. So come over here back to Flutterflow and then click here, change it to these. All right, so we'll just start building it with these. So this is now 375 by 812. All right, and then with that we can now build our application. Where do we start from? We start from these, of course. So this is the this is an image, and the dimension is 157 by 130. We just need to go ahead and then pick an image widget and also put it here with that exact dimension, and then bring the whole thing inside here. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the widget tree, and with that we will go ahead and click on the column. All right, these being the very first widget component of the widget tree is called the scaffold, right? So this one you cannot delete it, it's fixed. All right, so if you come over here, you see it has a default name called scaffold, right? These particular ones are just other widgets. It has like a generic name called column, and then we have like, you can name the column here. You can click here to edit it, like to change what you want to call the column. This could be like maybe main column, etc. All right, so let's go ahead and start building our application. Now here I'll just go ahead and click on this particular place which says add a child to this widget, and then I will add an image widget, and the image dimension is 157 by 130 pixels. So I'll just go ahead and come over here and then change it to 157 by 130, so 130. Okay, then I will go ahead and wrap this image. Okay, before I even do that, let's come back to the design here and scroll down on the right hand side, click on export, and then change this to maybe 3x just to increase the resolution, and then go ahead and click to export. All right, so I've exported it. But before we use it, all right, let's click on this first part and get the color of the background, right? So the background here is blue. Let's turn on the this particular mode, the developer mode, so that I can easily copy colors when I want to copy them. So this is the color of this particular screen. So I take it over here and I need to add it to this place. But before I do that, I need to come here to the column, right click on the column and wrap the column with a container, all right? So then make the width of the container infinite by clicking this, and make the height infinite as well, and then click on the fill color and paste this, all right? So this was the color we picked up before. Now let's go ahead and then find our image. This is the image that we picked, all right? So this is the image. Now what we need to do now is let's remove this border radius, okay? So because it didn't have a border radius, for us to import or bring an image into Flutterflow, we have to change this image type from network to asset, and then we have to go ahead and click here and then fetch it. So here I'll just go ahead and fetch the image I have, and then there you go. Now it's going to be inside Flutterflow. Now we have it. Now the next thing I need to do is click on this column and then say center align. All right, so now we have the logo at the center of the screen. Perfect. We are done with the very first screen, which is this one. Now this second one here is gonna be a bit tasking, all right? So because we're going to be designing all of these inside one screen, all right? So how do we do that? First of all, let's go ahead and then click on the main screen itself and then locate the color. This it's a bluish, but not the same blue as this one. So we will click on here to see more colors, and then this is the color. So I copied the color by just tapping on it. And then now I will come over here inside Flutterflow and click on this to create a new page. Then click on create blank. And then I will go ahead and just, let's call these onboarding, all right? So I'll just call these onboarding. And then I will go ahead and click on create page. Click on this to delete this up bar. And just like we did before, right click on the column, the first column here, wrap the widget with a container, right? Then make the containers width infinite, make the height infinite as well, and click here to paste in the fill color. Beautiful. Now we have this. The next thing we need to do quickly is we need to go ahead and then start setting up our application, like, you know, the design here. So first of all, we need something, all right? So the whole of this thing here is like the whole of this is with one thing except this button, right? So okay, not even except this button. I think everything is inside themselves like this. So when you swipe and swipe and swipe, okay, so how do we go ahead and then create this entire feature, right? So this is gonna take some time, so brace. All right, so I'm clicking add a child to do widget. The widget is the column, so I'm gonna scroll down. I'm gonna be looking for something called page view, all right? Brace up, this is gonna be a bit challenging, but let's do it. Now, we will go ahead and then we have a couple of things here, right? So you see here, we have this spiky thing here on the edges, all right? So I'm just gonna copy the text. The text here says, welcome to Nike, right? Let me see, what does it say completely? Welcome to Nike, okay? So welcome to Nike. It's the font is called Railway, all right? So let's go over here back to Flutterflow. Go to, where do we do that? We will click on here for our theme settings. We will go to typography and icons, and then we will come here and click on the primary part. Let's see, this should be a Google font, I hope. So Railway, yeah, it's a Google font. So we'll click on this, and then let's change the secondary fonts to Railway. All right, so now we have these two things done for us. The next thing we need to do quickly is we are going to go ahead and start setting up our application, right? So here we have a text widget, right? And then we have something beside it, okay? So what we are going to do now is, how do we do this? We're going to be a bit, we're going to play around with these things somehow, okay? And make sure that we get it all right. Okay, so here what we're gonna do quickly is I can bring in the text widget. All right, let's bring in the text widget first. So Now we have, in this particular part, we have the page view. All right, so this is the main construct of the entire page view, right? But now we have individual pages. All right, so what I'll just do is I'll click on this image and just delete it. All right, so delete the images, click on this one, delete it as well, click on this one and delete it as well. All right, this is the next thing that we're going to do. So we'll click on this page view and we'll add a column inside it. All right, so now there's a column inside here. And then the next thing I need to quickly do is I'm going to go ahead and start adding some features, right? So I'm clicking on this now to add a row, right? So I've added a row, and inside the row I'm going to add a text widget. All right, so I'm adding a text widget inside the row already. And then what I now do is I paste, I thought I copied something. So I will just go ahead and copy it again, come back here and paste it. It's saying only welcome. All right, so let's say welcome to Nike. All right, so let's just type it at once. Why not? So here the font size is, the font weight is 900 by 30 pixels. Okay, so here I'll just scroll down and look for 900, right? So 900 is like the biggest part, by 30. So I have 30, and then here I will just go ahead and copy the colors that we have here. So here it's saying it's not like pure white. I don't know why, but let's just copy it and see what's happening there. So here is where you paste the color of the text and paste it. All right, so this is what it gives me. Okay, and it's not exactly the same because we're using lower cases. So let's say welcome. Actually, it's supposed to be like this: welcome to Nike. All right, then now that I've gotten this, the next thing I need to do quickly is I need to go ahead and set some things up. So I have there's some little things here, right, that I need to ensure that I get it the same like this. So first of all, it's this design, this shape, right? So we have this. In other ways, I would have just gone ahead to add some padding on the right and padding to the left, and then click on expansion, this one, to assume the same shape here. But we have to put into consideration this guy here, right? We have to put into consideration this guy here. How do we bring this guy close to this particular text, and then it's always going to be there? All right, so now what we're going to do there is we just need to go ahead and make it such that, let me go ahead and then turn this, no. So let's go ahead and wrap these. I'm going to wrap this widget in a container. All right, let me show you what I'm doing. I'm wrapping this widget with a container. The container's dimension is 219 by 70 pixels. So I'm going to come over here and say 219, all right, by 70 pixels. Okay, so now I have that. I'm going to clear the color of the container. Okay, then I'm going to click on my text, and then I'm going to center align it. All right, now I have this kind of design. So I'm going to click on the row now and center align it. Fine. Now we're very close. Now the next thing I need to do is put this particular thing here, right, so that we can have this same arrangement. Now how do we do this, right? We can add these in a stack and all of that, but the problem is when you now go ahead and then change your device, right, it's not going to come out the same way anymore. So what we're going to do right now is we're just going to go ahead, and in this row I'm going to add an image, right? So this is a spike. It's 27 pixel by 30 pixels. So I'm going to go ahead in this row, click on this, and add an image. In the image, it's going to be 27 pixel, 27 by 30. I believe that was what was there. Then I will remove the border radius, and then I will go ahead and export this image. All right, so I'll come over here, change this to 3x, and just preview it just to be sure, then export it. All right, that's exported. And then now what am I going to do? I'm going to scroll down here, come over to network, change it from network to asset, and then click over here to get the image. So now I have the image. This is it. I upload it, wait for a couple of seconds. Now it's going to be appearing on this side. Not to worry. So I will go ahead and click on the container here, click on it again to close it. Then I will just drag this one down, right? Now this one comes over here. Fine, we're getting very close. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I will look at what is happening here in the design. All right, so there is a spacing. Let me zoom it in so you can see a bit. So there is a spacing here between this text and this. It's I can't really tell what it is, but it looks like it's 15, like the height between this top and this one, right? Maybe I could turn off this to see if I can see something like that. So it's like 15, right? So but not really perfectly 15, so maybe 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this container that contains all of this particular one a padding on the top 15. These are some strategies that I need to show you. So but now it's following this, right? Let me see. So we have a row here. We have let me see. Okay, so I'm supposed to give it maybe 25. It's still following this. It's pushing it down. Okay. All right, so what I could do now is I could click on the row and then do like this, right? So now I click on the row and I'm telling it I want everything here to be aligned to the top, all right? So now it's nearly there. So now I need to go ahead and click on the container, return it back to what I thought it should have been. So which is 15. All right. So now we have something similar to these, right? Something similar to these. But anyways, this is somehow on top of it, right? But if at all we want to do that, we're going to have to use stack to do it. But now when you're using stack, when you change the dimension of your screen, it's going to also distort the entire thing. So I think we'll just leave it here, all right? And then let's continue building. But I will show you a variant of that maybe towards the end, all right? Now, let's go ahead and then set this up as well, right? So we have these, the next thing I should actually set up here, let me turn back my developer mode, is not this one. It should actually be this one. Let me see, not that one. Not that one, not that one, not this one either, not the button. I'm trying to see how we can have access to, there's an image here, right? So if we click on this and then, you preview, you see that this is a human leg, right? But we have something else here, right? So we have something else there, and that's what I'm trying to get. So let's click on this and then this. Let's click on this first, and then I'm trying to get something here, and then this, and then this. Okay, so this is it. This is the vector for this. All right, so I will just go ahead and click on that, and I will export it. I will use R3X and export it. Okay, so this is the dimension for these. It's dimension for this is let me see. I've lost track of that again. No, I think it's this one. So we have, this is by 134 by 18 pixels. So let's come back here to Flutterflow and click on the column, and we're going to add it in a row. Actually, I'll just add it inside a row. It's going to be an image, all right? The image is going to be 134 by 18. So let me start by removing the border radius and changing this as well. So 134 by 18. Okay. And then the next thing I'm going to just quickly do is I will go ahead and then set up some other few things like okay, no need to set up anything. So I'll just change this from network to asset, and then I will click on here to bring the image into Flutterflow. All right, so I'll just wait for it. This is the image, and it's in here now. Okay, so with these now, you can go ahead and just click on the row and center align it. All right, by clicking this, and let's look at the padding. The space in between them is 19, so I'll give it to the row, not the image. So 19. And then I'll come back here and let's click on this one and look at the padding from the top. Let's say from here. So let's use 65. So I'll click on this row and give it a 65. Okay, for this one. So 65 pushes it down a bit. Now we have that. The next thing we need to do quickly is let's go ahead and then set up like some things that are, you know, very obvious in our application. All right, so first of all is this human leg, right? So we need to go ahead and add that up. So I will come over here and just check it as x3x, and then I'll export it. Okay, so the dimension is roughly, I will use the dimension in the exported file, not what I'm seeing here. All right. Okay, so I will click on here and then I will bring it on board. I'll just add an image here, right? And then I will adjust the image, but not right now. So I'll just delete the border radius first. Scroll down, come to image type, change it to assets, and then go over here and get the what is it called, and get the image. So I'll hover on it and I'll see here it says 1125 by 1765. So I'm gonna upload it 1125 by 1765. So I will just wait and say 1125 by 1765. Okay, so where is it? My image is not showing. Okay, it's not showing actually. 1 1 2 5. This is the height. It's pushing it really way down. Okay, so let's make these 500. Okay, so this is 500. Now let me come over here and see what we have here. Okay, so the fixed height here was 420. So let's use 420. All right, so let's say 420. Okay, so we have these here, right? So I think this is perfect. Then we can go ahead and set some other things inside. So here we have this, and it's technically on top of these. It looks like it's on top of these leg. All right, so we can just click on this image, right click on it and say wrap widget with a stack, because we want to put some things on top of it. So now we have that image in a stack, so we can click here to add another image. All right, so I'm adding another image. And then what image is that? It's gonna be this vector image, this Nike vector image. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I will scroll down, come to export, and I'm trying to preview it, but nothing is showing here. Nothing is showing here. So this is a vector. Nothing is pretty much showing here. I can't really see anything. Change it to 3x. Okay, so nothing is showing here. Let me turn off this and look at it again. So preview. Nothing is showing here actually, right? So guys, have you seen anything here? Nothing is showing here. So what I can simply do now is, this is it, right? This is pretty much it. If I hide it, it goes off. If I click on it, it shows. All right, so I will just go ahead and export it, right? I don't know what is there, but there's something there, of course. So here it says 482 by 166. Okay, so let's change this and say 482 by, we will say 166. Okay, so 166. Then we can change this from, like, delete the border radius and scroll down and change this from network to assets, and then just go ahead and then upload the image. Let's just hope there's something there actually. Okay, actually there's something, but it's just doesn't really visible for us to see. All right, now, but here it is. It's something here now. So now I don't know the height from this image. So but here I'm seeing 334, so we can use it. So I'm gonna give it a padding on the top here, 334. Is it too much? I think it's too much. Let's change it to 2. All right, these are not straight images, that's why it's not really like straight up. Okay, so but now I think that one is fine. Then we need to do a couple of other things. All right, let's include these this particular thing here is going to be a padding, is going to be a stack. All right, it's going to be a stack, and I think it's also going to be a stack on top of this, right? So let's look for it. All right, so welcome to Nike. Let's scroll down and just look for the different things that we have here. So vector, okay. So what other thing do we have? Line, highlight, and vector. Okay, this is the whole thing. Let's click on this to see what is happening. Group. All right, so underline. Okay, so let's group highlight. All right, so this is something here. So we have one thing here, 90 by 54. Let's just go ahead and export it. All right, so 3x, so 90 by 54, and then we have something else here, the same thing. Export again, and we changed it. All right, so this is just me teaching you how to build the front end of your application. All right, so don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and thank you very much. Like the video as well. Thank you so much. So here we have these, and then we just have to put these, then we put a button, then later on we can put this smiley face. So what we need to do here quickly is we will just go ahead and what do? We will go ahead and do a couple of things here. All right, let's let me check. Let's click on the column. No, we have to go back to the stack. All right, so yes, we're gonna have to go back to the stack. Let's add an image on the stack. 90 by 54. So 90 by 54. So let's say 90 by 54, and then we can change this. All right, so we'll just scroll down, change it from network to asset quickly, and then we can go ahead and click on this to bring up our image. So I'm picking this first. All right, so with these I have this design. So now I have to go ahead and find their position. So here, this is like, I'm gonna hold on Alt just to see what is happening here, but it's not giving me the perfect figure. So let me turn on developer mode and see if I can get something. It's not giving me. It's saying 252. It's not giving me. It's just giving me a lot of combinations. Okay, so but it's 252, so roughly. So but maybe 200. So well, at some point you have to make some assumption. So here I'll make an assumption of 200, and then I need to make an assumption for the height as well. So here the height is like 444, right? So let's try it. If it doesn't give us, we make it 344. So let's say 444, way too much. Let's change this to 344. All right, so now we've gotten something closer, right? And then wait a minute. Okay, this is not giving the full thing that is inside there, so we have to click on this. All right, we have to click on this particular box to show everything that contained inside it. So I'll go ahead and click on Ctrl D to duplicate this image, right? And then I will swap some things, right? So this is it. I need to now do it for this one. All right, this one is roughly a couple of distance away from the site, so maybe, I don't know, 50. So let's say 50 here. All right, so on the side here is gonna be 50, maybe, or maybe 30, even 30. And then we can now look at the height. The height is gonna be like well, we can't really tell, but it's gonna be higher than this. So let's say 444. All right, so something like this. All right, so we have this, and we have to do the same. We have to change the content. All right, so I will go ahead and click on this to change the content to this one. All right, so this is going to be the content now. And then the next thing we need to do quickly here is the button. So I'll click on here for the button, and I'm going to adjust a couple of things. All right, so here the button is 335 by 50. I don't really need to memorize the width. I just need to get the let me just copy this. It's 600 by 14 for the text on the button. So I'll click on the column itself, then I'll click on no, not this column. There's another column here. Okay, this is the main column. No, it's gonna be the column inside my page view. Yes, please. Now I'll go ahead and add a button inside there. So this is my button. And my button, I'm going to make my button I'm going to click on this to say expansion. Then I will say infinite width, and this is going to be 50. Very important. Right, the text on my button was get started. Then let me click on this to get the color. I think roughly these, right? And it has a border radius of 13. So I will paste the fill color here, and then I will give it some padding on the left and right, so 20 pixels on the left and right. So here we have 20, then we have 20 here as well. I will scroll down and give it a border radius of 13 pixels. Okay, all right. Then now that I have done that, the next thing I need to do is get the color of my text and the font size. So I'm gonna copy the color of the text. It's the font size 600 by 14. So I'll just go ahead and click on here and go to the text and then just paste this here as the color. Then change this to 600 and make this 14. Okay, so like this, now we have this. We need to remove this elevation by just deleting it. All right, now we are very close to finishing our design. What we just need to do quickly is to rearrange the position of these the thing that makes the the navigation like this. All right, so we just have to change that. But now there might be a problem because this is one screen and it's changing, right? So if we go ahead and then push it at this point, we're gonna have some issues. So we're going to have to leave it at the same level like this one, right? Yeah, because we can't fix this one separately from this one. So we need to go ahead and then just adjust this particular height here. So let's go ahead and scroll down. You see the indicator alignment. So we'll click here to put it at the middle. Let's go ahead and click on this thing here and then copy the color. All right, and we will say the active color is yellow. All right, and then the inactive color is just going to be white. All right, and then what else? I think the dot width we can say 32. Yeah. Expansion factor, spacing 16 maybe. Let's see. No, 8 is okay. Dot height, maybe 12. Okay, that's too much. Dot width, let me see. So let's say 16. Well, maybe 20. All right, so we will just leave it like this. And then the next thing we need to do quickly is we need to, if we click on here, we're bringing it to the middle. If we click on here, we're putting it here. So we need to increase the padding here. So this is supposed to maybe 50. All right, let's increase it again to maybe 200. Okay, so something like this. So 200. And let me make this maybe not to 200, maybe 180. All right, so we leave it at this point. Okay, so now we have this design, and for me it's pretty okay. And we can go ahead and then set up the other screens, and then that will be all for this particular part of the tutorial. All right, so let's go ahead and set up for this one, and then this one and this one is very similar. All right, and so let's go ahead and see how we can do that. All right, so for this particular part, let's just jump right into it. Let's close this first page view and click on this to open another one. Click on this to add a column to your screen, and then in the column, let's start working on it. So what do we have here? First of all, we have this image is somehow over it, and this one is also over it somehow. So this is like the main guy. So let's click on this main guy and export him. All right, so we will export the main guy in 3x preview, download it. All right, so then here in this design, this is more like 309 by 183. So I'll click on the column here and add an image. All right, so the image is going to be 309 I think, right? So that was 309 by what? 309 by 183. So by 183. Okay. Now I can go ahead and then just delete this. Click this to change from network to asset, and then go find my image. Alright, so here I will just go ahead and then set things up for myself. So put this up here, and there you go. Okay, so now that we have this, the next thing we need to do is get these other things. So I will just download these things. Alright, so it's 90 by 54 as well. So but let's just download them first. So I'm downloading that, and this guy as well. I'm going to download him too. So download that. I think that's pretty much it. I have this water one, I can still use it, and everything else checks out. Alright, so this is 90 by 54. I will go ahead and then this is my design. I will just click on this to make sure that it shows everything. Alright, I will wrap these widgets in a stack because I want to put some things on it. Alright, and here on this one I will go ahead and then put some things inside it, right? So what do I put inside it? I can go ahead and then do a couple of things, right? Let's first of all look at what we have here, right? So we have this is 27 here and roughly about 73 from here. So let's add this. Let's add an image. So the image here is 90 by 54. So I'm gonna add 90 by 54 here. All right, so 90 by 54, and then change this to 0. Yeah, and then change from network to asset, and then click here to upload the image. All right, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and then I will click on here to upload it. All right, now I will also need to do some things like this. I have to click on this to just capture that very well. Now it is here, right? And what I need to do now is I'm going to have to go ahead and say this is okay, hold on guys. So I'm going to go ahead and give the whole of this stack. All right, the stack here, I'm going to give it 73. Yes, I'm going to give it 73 as a padding from the top. So 73 pushes it downward a bit, and then this guy is just where it's supposed to be. And then now this guy is 45 by 45, and it's 304 from the left. So we can go ahead and then add another image. So we're saying 35. Is it 45 by 45? Yes, it's 45 by 45. So 45 by 45, and then change this one. Change this one to asset, and then scroll down to get the details here. All right, so I'm getting the details here. Okay, so now we have this, and there you go. So it was 304, I think. So 304 as padding, and there you go. So it's now here on this side. Okay, so pretty much 304, right? That's okay, guys, pretty much okay. Then what we could do here next is to start putting up our text here. But don't forget, now this particular guy is under this text. All right, this particular guy is under this text, and we need to just go ahead and set it up. So I actually think if I do this, then you can actually go ahead and replicate here and then just do it. So I will stop on this part. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I will go ahead and then set things up. But first of all, we need something under this. All right, and so how do we go about getting something under this? We need to go ahead and then let me see. All right, let's first of all get this text sorted out. So let's get this text sorted out. No, just click on here actually to copy it. It says 700 by 34. All right, so let's click on the column now and add a row. Okay, so I have added a row. In the row I'm gonna add a text. The text is 700. Let's paste the text first. So this is it, and it's 700. All right, let's click here and change it 700 by, I think, 34. All right, yeah, so 700 by 34. Copy the color here, and it has some 30 on the left and right. So this is the color here. I will go ahead and click on this expansion and give it a right here 30. All right, and give it 30 here. All right, it just gives us this breakdown instead of using a container. Then I'll go ahead and centralize it, centerline it. And then now that we've gotten that, we need to just go ahead and then have the next thing below. All right, so I will just go ahead and then I'm going to wrap these in. Let me see, you see there's something here, and it's supposed to also be covering this. So I will go ahead and wrap these two things in well, I can do it in a container, but it still needs to be wrapped in a column. So I'm wrapping it in a column already, and then I click on the row and duplicate it, right? Then I can come back here and then copy this. I want to copy the text here. No, let's just click on this. It's 400 by 16. So I'll click on here and paste the text. All right. And then I will say 400 by 16. So 400 by 16. There you go. And let's look at the padding. It's like 12. All right. 12. So we can say here padding on the top is 12. Okay, so now we have that. And then here also we have padding from here 48.3. Let's give that to the column itself. So the column that contains everything. So no, not the column, not yet. Now we're going to right click on this and wrap this with a stack. Now the reason is because we need to put something under it. So let's go ahead and then give this stack the padding from the top. So it's 47.15. So I will put it here 47.2. All right. Now we have that. Now let's go ahead and click this to add an image. All right. So I'm adding an image. The image is going to be the dimension of these. So it's more like a 482 by 166. So I will say 482. That's actually bigger than my screen here, my screen size. All right. So, but let's just say 482. All right, by 166. Let's see the resultant effect of this. 166. Remove the border radius. Okay. Change from network to asset. And let's just download this one specifically. All right. So just download it, come to 3x and export it. All right. Then we go back to Flutterflow and then click here to upload the image. And let's look for it. All right. So there you go. This is the image. We upload it. We'll wait for a couple of seconds. We will see it. All right. So it's now at the back. Okay. So everything is fine, really. So with these now, we are actually perfectly fine. Okay. So the next thing we just need to do quickly is add the button. So I wouldn't like to add, like, go ahead and start suffering to create a button. I would just go ahead and click on the first page that we have here. Then I will click on the button and I will copy the button. And I will go ahead and click on the page view just to close it. Then click on this one to go back to this one. Click on here and paste my button. All right, so here, this is my button. What I am going to quickly do here is I'm going to give it some padding from the bottom. So if I click here, bottom is 36. All right, so I will click here and say I want it to balance at the bottom, right? And well, it's gonna be 36. Let me just still put it 36. Oh, it's not. Okay, so just leave it like that. It's better. It's okay. So now we have our next design. So it's a little bit different from what we have here, but I think here is what we need to do now is like maybe give some more spacing from the top. Let's see. Okay, this one is a bit closer. Yeah, it's a bit closer. So this is 26, and this is not. I'm trying to figure out these. So our text here is not giving us the real vibe. So this is supposed to be fashionable. So let's just go ahead and increase this, right? Or is there something we didn't do? So it's 400 by 16. This is 400 by 16. I don't know why we didn't have this exact thing. So maybe the font is different. We can go ahead and just make these 50, for instance. Yeah, and maybe 50 here too. Yeah, something like that. So pretty much it's a bit like that, and then we can, there are other things we could do, like these thing here. We can also bring it on board here. Let's go ahead and do it. Why not? Let's come over here and let's say 3x and export it. This is more like 218 by 17 pixels. So it's in the column. Like, let's just click here and add it. No, not this one. Not this one. It's gonna be in this particular part. Actually, the stack. Okay. Or preferably, no, it's gonna be in the stack. So we will add here an image. Okay. The image is 218 by 17. So we can say here 218 by 17 by 17. Let's go. So we change this from network to assets, and then we can just go ahead and then upload this. All right. So with these, we'll just wait for a couple of seconds and then have this. We have this now. We're now going to go ahead and then it's 52 from here, and it's roughly let me see, there's gonna be some, all right, so it's 258, 259. So let's say here 259 from the top. That's a lot. So let's just make it 159. Well, there, some of them are not really positioned very well, so we might have errors in, let's say 65. Okay, so here it says 52. Okay, so there you go. We have something similar now. All right, so with these now, and I believe that you will be able to like design something similar to your something similar in your application. I think here I can just go ahead and copy this, Control C, and then I will close these and click on here and just paste the same thing, right? And then with these now we can just go ahead and then preview your application and see how it looks like. All right, now that's how to go ahead in building your onboarding site in any application, right? That no matter how complex it is. So we have been able to do this. Technically, we have done these 3 pages now. We will continue doing the registration and forgot password details, all of these in the upcoming part of this tutorial. Don't forget, this is mostly going to be front end, but if at the end a lot of people are asking for backend, then I will consider making a backend for this. All right, so let's just go ahead and look at what we have. So well, here you have our application. We can just like swipe and then see. So now the reason why we have this white background is because there are some details that we provided by the user's phone, like the date, the time, mostly the time, and some other parameters here, and then the navigational buttons. That way we have all of this here. So far we have our design looking sweet. All right, I believe that you like it and you've enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video as well. See you in the next tutorial. Thank you very much.